2023 promises to be a cracker of a year for PlayStation 5, with everything from ambitious single-player experiences to long-awaited VR spin-offs. There are so many things heading to PlayStation 5, in fact, that we've accumulated a list of 25 games that you absolutely must keep an eye out for in 2023. Now let's cross all of those fingers and toes and hope for no more delays and see what 2023 has in store for us. Starting off this mighty list, we have Hogwarts Legacy, which is the game every Harry Potter fan has been dreaming of for decades. This is a massive open world RPG where you take on the role of a student of Hogwarts in the late 1800s. You'll be visiting iconic locations, getting into magical battles, and even attending classes in this faithfully recreated rendition of everyone's favourite magic school. Oh, and you can ride a broom around its scenic campus. For those looking for that monster hunting experience outside of the infamous series, then Wild Hearts is here to offer up a new expansive take on the hunting genre. With nature-infused prey filling up the lands, you must harness the power of an ancient technology called Karakuri. You will use this technology not just to fight against the mighty kimono, but also as a means of traversal, both getting to your destinations quicker and also evading your deadly opponents. For fans of Monster Hunter, this might just be the fresh new take that you've been waiting for. Atomic Heart is the perfect cure for those Bioshock blues. Set in an alternate version of 1950s Soviet Russia, this first-person single-player adventure will see you face off against an army of androids with a host of weapons and powers. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue surrounding both its narrative and setting, but if that wasn't enough, then there's also some really quick and explosive first-person gameplay. And if not for anything else, Atomic Heart is an absolute wonder to look at. 9 years after its Japanese release, Like a Dragon Ishin is getting a full PS4 and 5 remake. This Yakuza spin-off is set in the 19th century, bringing us a samurai-inspired storyline as you seek justice and revenge for the death of someone held dear. Being a Yakuza game, of course, you can expect that dynamic combat with a somewhat wacky edge to it, an enormous collection of minigames, and a sprawling narrative infused with both politics and revolution. With the launch of the PSVR 2, there are plenty of exciting new VR experiences making their way to PS5, but Horizon Call of the Mountain has to be one of the most exciting of the bunch. This spin-off to the Horizon series will allow you to explore all of the stunning colourful details of its world, whilst facing off against the robot dinosaurs that inhabit it. You'll be scaling mountains, firing your bow and taking a refreshing dip in some dangerous waters, all with those crispy new PSVR 2 headsets, so you're getting right in on the action. Along with the launch of Call of the Mountain, we are finally getting a VR port of Resident Evil Village. Resi 7 was a masterclass in VR horror, and this one is gonna be even better because now not only will it look even more horrifying with those sweet OLED HDR panels, but you also have complete motion control, something that was entirely missing from the last VR game. Now I know this is technically a game that's been out for 2 years, but let's be real, VR will put Resident Evil Village back on the map. Destiny 2 is the gift that keeps on giving. After the superb Witch Queen expansion last year, Lightfall looks even more exciting, not only introducing the new lost city of Neo Muna, but also fresh new enemies, a new campaign, and a brand spanking new subclass called Strand. It's a whole lot of new. There's a lot to be excited about, of course, with this expansion, but swinging about with the Strand grapple has to be up there for me. Moving on from the brilliant Neo series, Team Ninja are close to launching Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This is a Sekiro-like set in a demon-infested Han-era China. Of course, you can expect plenty of gnarly enemy designs and some brutally tough combat. Having a quick look at the game and you'll notice the faster pace, the snappier gameplay, which means you aren't just getting some Neo or Souls clone. With addictive gameplay, awesome enemy design and an interesting setting, what's not to love? What would PSVR 2 be without a spiritual follow-up to Until Dawn Rush of Blood? The Dark Pictures Switchback VR is another horror shooter developed by Supermassive Games. Now this is a simple yet thrilling on-rails experience that won't be out to win any awards, but these games always remind me of the old arcade shooters, and it will be great to have one of those in your very own home, but like a million times better thanks to PSVR 2. And the PSVR 2 bangers just keep coming. The ridiculously named The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution will finally make its way to PSVR 2 after launching on PC last year. The first game had some of the best controller schemes for VR at the time, and now with the far improved Sense controllers and all of the tech goodness that comes with the PSVR 2 headsets themselves, Saints and Sinners 2 is undoubtedly gonna be a deliciously violent time on PlayStation. Here at Push Square, we love a bit of Resident Evil, so is it really any surprise that Resident Evil 4 Remake has made its way onto this list? After the success of both Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, RE4 is pretty much a shoo-in for one of the best games of 2023. It's a winning formula and one I personally cannot wait to experience for the first time. And that's right, my mum and dad didn't let me play these games when I was a kid. It's a good year to be a Horizon fan, as you aren't just getting a new PSVR 2 spin-off, you also have a brand new slice of DLC coming your way. Burning Shores promises to take players and Aloy to the City of Stars. Well, at least what's left of it. Los Angeles will be fully explorable and promises to expand the tale of Aloy with a new machine threat, characters and adventure. If you've squeezed every drop from the main game, then this will be music to your ears. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have been feeling pretty down on Star Wars as of late, but that does not stop me from getting hyped up for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Even just more of the same would make this sequel worth checking out, but with hopeful expansions to combat and a new continuation of Cal's story to enjoy, I personally cannot wait to jump back into this galactically epic series. After its announcement about a million years ago, it almost feels wild to say that Dead Island 2 is actually making its way to PlayStation in 2023. Another entry set in the ruined streets of Hollywood, Dead Island 2 is all about the wonderfully colourful gore that comes along with the profession of zombie killing. You'll be crafting up a variety of delightful melee weapons and guns to take out hordes of zombies in all manner of gory ways. It has been far too long since we last got a Rocksteady game, but do not worry folks, the wait is almost over. Switching out the streets of Gotham for Metropolis, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will put you in the shoes of Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot and King Shark, as you are tasked with, will you believe it, killing the Justice League, who are all under some kind of spell, turning them into ruthless killers. Rocksteady is cooking up something a little different with this DC outing, as Kill the Justice League is a 4-player co-op experience, so we're pretty damn curious to see how this one turns out. Street Fighter VI is the shot of colourful adrenaline that you need in your life in 2023. This renewed fighter is bursting its way onto PlayStation with some stunning artistic flair that serves to amplify its refined fighter gameplay. This is also shaping up to be the most approachable Street Fighter game in years, with a revamped control system that allows you to spend more time pulling off those sick moves on your foes instead of sticking your nose into the combo menus. This action RPG is sure to be a brilliant next step for the Diablo franchise, as it not only massively improves the visual components of the series, but it also expands upon the character customization and builds, and the overall gameplay loop. You'll have dungeons to fight through, an endless amount of demons to slay, abilities to master, an expansive open world to explore, loot for days, and you can enjoy all of that with friends in online co-op. It's hard to believe, but it's been nearly 7 years since the release of Final Fantasy XV, and so it feels like Square Enix is going all out for the series' next installment. Spearheaded by the developer that transformed Final Fantasy XIV into such a ridiculously successful MMO, expectations are sky high for Final Fantasy XVI. A lot will be riding on the game's action combat and suitably dramatic story, but we have immense faith in Yoshi P and his team. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is your big PlayStation exclusive of the year, and after the incredible first game and Miles Morales, the prospect of a full native PS5 game is genuinely giving me chills. There's a lot of interest into how both versions of Spidey will work into the game's narrative and gameplay, but even just a sparkly new trip to NYC with that immensely satisfying web slinging, we cannot wait to revisit this world, and we have a feeling that it is shaping up to be one of the hottest games of the year. Alan Wake 2 is a sequel we don't think anyone really expected to get, and I wouldn't really hold my breath to be getting it in 2023 either. This is a spooky thriller series from Remedy Entertainment, which mixes up intrigue and mystery with an unsettling atmosphere. Obviously, we don't really know much at all at this point about how the game is improving and what the focus will be narratively. But after the brilliant Control, it's about time that PlayStation had another truly great, perplexing mystery title on its hands. Remedy is still touting that 2023 release date, so we're going to stay faithful. One of the greatest comeback stories in gaming history, 2023 is the year Cyberpunk 2077 finally gets that long-awaited story DLC. The only expansion planned for the game is said to be a spy thriller and stars none other than Idris Elba. It has been fantastic to watch this game steadily claw its way back from complete critical dismissal, and now that it's bigger than ever, we're sure there are plenty of you out there that are dying for more of Night City. Another VR title that we simply cannot wait to get our hands on, Firewall Ultra, is the uber tactical VR shooter and one of the technical showcases of the PSVR 2. With all the bells and whistles of this new VR tech, Firewall Ultra is shaping up to be the tactical shooter of the generation, with everything from eye detection to those immersive adaptive triggers. The previous game, which launched on PSVR, was a solid experience, but ultimately one held back by the tech of the time. Without a lot of those constraints, along with all of those heavy wires of the PSVR, we cannot wait to see how this one shines. You have no idea how happy it makes me to be getting a sequel to The Wolf Among Us in 2023. This stylishly dark take on your favourite fairy tale characters puts you in the shoes of Big Babe Wolf, the sheriff of this secret magical community. We're expecting more of that classic Telltale episodic structure and of course that signature branching narrative design. And let me tell you folks, the first game got pretty damn dark. The sequel will see the return of everyone's favourite big bad wolf, along with plenty of fabled characters and plenty of neon. Let's hope that The Wolf Among Us 2 can stick that 2023 landing. I really don't think enough people realise how cool of a game Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora could be. After the 2022 sequel proved that Avatar's success was more than just a fluke, there really isn't a better time for a fully fledged open world video game to take place in the stunning world of Pandora. With a fully designed ecosystem, a day and night system, and an entire region of this world not featured in the movies, it sounds like there's going to be plenty of reasons to get immersed in this Ubisoft title. The first person perspective is a little surprising, but until we see this game in action, it isn't enough to stop my anticipation from growing. And lastly, another title that should have come out a long time ago. It looks like Skull and Bones may finally release in 2023. Hooray! Taking the popular sailing aspect of Assassin's Creed Black Flag and expanding that into a full-fledged game, you'll be taken to the high seas in your own customizable ship. With plenty of different builds to experiment with, you can engage in explosive battles with friends as you steadily deck out your ship, crew, and even yourself with the finest pirate drip in all of the 7 seas. Okay, so those are your 25 PS5 games that we think you should keep an eye out for in 2023. Let us know down below what games you're most looking forward to try out this year, including the ones that I've maybe missed out in this list. I change my mind all of the time, but right now, I'm stoked to play RE Village on the PSVR 2 because I've deliberately held off exactly for this occasion. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider leaving a like. We produce a variety of weekly news, reviews, let's plays, guides and gameplay all within the world of PlayStation, so if that sounds like your kind of thing, then why not subscribe to us here on Push Square. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.